In our writing, we are going to begin talking about narrative writing. What do you think the word narrative means? What does that have to do with writing? Let's look at some slides and maybe we can help you come up with a more a greater understanding of what narrative writing is. So for narrative writing, look at these books. The Gruffalo, which is one of my favorite all-time books. Brave Irene, another good book. Owl Moon, Babushka, Giraffes Can't Dance, The Great Kapuk Tree, The Trouble with Mom. What do you think all of these stories have in common? They each tell a narrative story. Have you read any of these books? I have. A narrative story entertains the reader. That means that it gives you some it keeps you it keeps your attention. It entertains you. Narrative stories are all about a main character. In every narrative story that you read, there will be a main character. Charlotte's Web, that the main character in that is, it's about a spider who helps a pig. And so the main character in the story is the spider. Junie B. Jones. Every one of her stories are all about her. She talks about other characters, but they are all about her. A narrative story is all about one main character and they are telling the story. The main character has a problem or an adventure. Gerald the giraffe is sad because he can't dance as well as the other animals in the jungle. Let's look at this book. Gerald's problem. So the main character is Gerald. We know that he is a giraffe. And from the previous slide, we know that he has a problem because he can't dance. You can take the time to read each of these pages of the book, but we're going to move on. If you want to pause and read the story, you can. And so it tells us how does he solve his problem? And then you use what you have read and you put it into this narrative writing summarizing framework that helps you to understand the story, the main character, the setting, problem, experience, adventure, solution, and conclusion. The story is about, and you fill it in with the main character. The problem, adventure, or experience was, fill in that information. The problem was solved. How did the main character solve the problem? So we would answer those questions like this. This is a story about Gerald. The problem was he couldn't dance. The problem was solved when the cricket played a tune and helped him to dance. It's a really good story. So we are going to look at a narrative writing diamond. This is the shape of a narrative story. And as you read stories from here on out, I want you to think of this narrative writing diamond. At the very beginning, you have an entertaining beginning. It grabs the reader's attention. It gives you something to keep reading. And then it proceeds with elaborative detail. It gives story critical characters, settings, and objects. And then it has a suspense part that leads up to the main event. And then you have the main event, and then the solution to the problem, and then an ending to the story. The diamond changes a summary into a fully elaborated, entertaining story. Let's look at the narrative writing diamond section by section. So, the beginning, you hook your reader. The beginning should grab the reader's attention. The elaborative detail brings your story to life. Describe important, story critical characters, settings, or objects. The middle part. The middle or main event is the biggest part of the story. It's where the story takes place, where the story happens. And then you have the ending. The main character has a memory, feeling, hope, or wish. As the year goes on, you're going to learn about each skill of the diamond, of the narrative writing diamond. Entertaining beginnings, elaborative details, suspense, main event, solution, conclusion, the extended ending. You're going to be able to, by the end of the year, you're going to be able to use each part of the narrative diamond to be able to write a good story. And then your writing is going to shine. Here are some examples. Let's see how one student used each part of the writing diamond in her rough draft. So here she has an entertaining beginning. She gives the elaborative details. You can pause the video and read through the story and see where each part of these come into play. And then she has suspense. Plenty of suspense is what's going to happen. A fully elaborated main event, almost drowning in a cave. That is telling about what is happening, the suspense, almost. The main event continues. The main character struggles and strives as told through the action, description, thoughts, and feelings. See how the main event is the biggest part of the story? And then you have the conclusion, leading to the extended ending, the feeling, the memory. This person said, "My hope, I saw my mom. I fell into her arms." It had a type of feeling or a memory on that. So let's review. Narrative stories focus on a character who has a problem or adventure. It always entertains the reader. Authors use the summarizing framework to plan their narrative story. It might not always look like this, but it will answer the same questions or filling in the blanks of the same. And then the authors use the writing diamond to fully elaborate their story, their summary of the story. Think about the diamond every time you read a narrative story. And I guarantee each one of these sections are going to be in that story. For your assignment today, you are going to write about fall. You're going to write about the colors of the leaves and how they change and what you know about it. Happy writing!